I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Jose Ballard. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 2011 film Green Lantern. Now, let me start off by saying I don't know much of anything about Green Lantern. I did not read the comics. I would say this got me interested in Green Lantern. Then I saw the animated movies, which I didn't mind some of them. A lot of them voiced by Nathan Fillion. Which I know even at the time people wanted Nathan Fillion to... I think he would have done a great job as Green Lantern. But this film got very much hated on. And watch it again, while I don't think it's a classic, you could say it's generic. That's a fair point to say it's generic. That you've seen this stuff done before. You know, the cocky lead, cocky pilot who learns to be humble, the big threat, and this guy is not going to be able to do it, but he rises to the state of affairs, the courage to fight the bad guy. There's the girl who feels like they're on the outs, but then they don't get together again. But it's one of those things that I don't think it deserves the pummeling that it gets critically and the audience-wise. I don't think it's that bad. And I like the film. I like the film overall. Again, it's not a classic. Let me repeat that. It's not anything too inventive. Other than, it was cool seeing the powers of Green Lantern. As a guy, again, who did not know much about Green Lantern, to see him, what he's able to do with the powers, I thought that actually led to some cool stuff. Like in the training session, having a minigun and having a chainsaw pop up. When he's got to save the girl because his helicopter's out of control, he makes like a Hot Wheels racetrack to get where it needs to go. I thought that was kind of inventive. When he's fighting the bad guy on Earth, the big bad evil, and he's using like a big catapult and has like a big fuck all machine gun to blow up these big tanker trucks against the bad guy. When he's fighting this other guy played by Peter Sarsgaard, who's been infected with this evil force, and it makes his brain bigger, and so now he can use like telekinetic stuff. And so one of the things Green Lantern uses is a flamethrower to burn the glass that's coming after him and blast the guy with fucking flamethrower. That's what I mean. Like, I liked some of that inventive stuff. I thought that looked pretty cool. Even the simple, punch, where he swings a punch, but it's this big giant punch, giving the knockout punch, the fuck you punch. Some of that stuff was fun. Ryan Reynolds, I didn't think Ryan Reynolds was bad. Because he's using the humor, Ryan Reynolds, but it's a bit toned down. So then it comes off as I wouldn't say a new Ryan Reynolds role, but at times more serious than I've seen in other Ryan Reynolds stuff. And I liked hearing Michael Clark Duncan, may he rest in peace, who's the voice of Kilowog. Jeffrey Rush as the voice of Oa, the no, not Oa. That's the place they go to. Tomar Ray, the talking fish guy. Mark Strong as Sinestro. Tim Robbins as a senator. So you have some capable actors in there. You have Angela Bassett. So I don't mind the cast. Lo and behold, a superhero movie that's not 2 to 3 hours, 2.5 hours. It's under 2 hours. Holy shit. It's like an hour and 40, hour and 50 minutes. Oh my god. Wait, I thought that was against the law. I thought it was against the law to make a comic book movie that's less than 2 hours. Holy shit. I commended for that. The effects for 2011, I thought they were fine for the most part. Yeah, I would say the clunky effects would be, I talked about the bit where this Tim Robbins is in the helicopter during this party. It slides down and is sliding amongst the party floor. That looked really bad. But then, okay, inventive, the Hot Wheels track that he creates, Green Lantern creates to get people out of danger. I like that bit, but yeah, when it's like that's some clunky effects. The big bad guy, I know a lot of people, I never made fun of it as much as other people did, but I could see maybe there's a bit more creativity to have gone into the design of the bad guy, to be fair. I think that could have been more inventive design. But yeah, as a guy introducing me to Green Lantern, so not reading a single issue of the comic, this was all new to me when I saw this back in 2011, and the Green Lantern, what it does, what the powers do, Oa, seeing all the different aliens and races of aliens, I thought that was cool. Here's the thing. Why does a Marvel film get a pass when really this is just a Marvel film with DC clothing? It is. If you look at Ant-Man or these other movies, why does that get the pass and this doesn't? When it's just doing, literally, if you call this a Marvel film, a lot of those Marvel films you could call generic as well. And I like some of them too. I like Ant-Man. But do you call Ant-Man completely and utterly new? You have Ant-Man, you have an evil version of himself. And a lot of those Marvel films, they're doing the basics, especially if it's an origin story. I mean, even Ant-Man, you have a guy who is a criminal, and by the end, he's going to learn to be a better man. That's how you've seen in a lot of other movies in the Marvel universe. You could say they follow a formula, just like this follows a formula. This has humor, just like a lot of Marvel films have humor. Funny enough, Taika Waititi, the guy who directed Thor Ragnarok, he's actually in this as Ryan Reynolds' buddy. Is that a spaceship? Yeah. Is it real? Yep. I don't know, they said something about me being you being responsible? Maybe on their plan, responsible means asshole. I hope so. I thought one of the most clever bits was after he saves the girl. I forget, is it Blake Lively? I forget the actress's name. I thought she did a good job. He saves the girl and he's outside of her apartment talking like he's Superman. Hello, ma'am. And then she goes up to him and she's like, Hal? Miss? Hal? Oh my god! How do you recognize me? I've seen you naked. You think I would recognize you just because I don't see your cheekbones? I thought that was rather clever and pretty funny. I remember when I first saw it, I thought that was hilarious. And so yeah, it does follow a formula. You have your lead, something happened in his past. In this case, his dad died while flying, so there's a bit of fear that he's got to overcome. Hey, it's not overcoming fear, it's gathering courage, which helps him out at the end. It follows the formula. He finds the ring, he's transported, training session. You know he's going to fail because they don't think he's a nobody. He don't think of himself as a nobody, but then he's going to be a somebody. You have sort of your sub-villain, Tim Robbins' son, who's a scientist that gets infected with the evil force. Like I said, his brain gets bigger. I don't mind that the suit is animated. I don't, because from what I understand the comics, that's the same. It's this power, and if it's supposed to be clothes and they animated it, that's one thing. But the fact that it is supposed to be this force around him, I thought it kind of made sense on a visual aspect. Because if it was just a regular shirt, I guess you could do that where it just becomes a regular shirt, but then people go, oh, that seems cheap. So I understood what they were going for. That's why it didn't bother me. Again, the effects maybe don't hold up compared to today because it's fucking 10 years old. But you just say for a lot of films, and I mean, you give me a list of 2011 films, I could go, well, that doesn't hold up either, and that doesn't hold up either. I think for the time, a lot of the effects were fine. It just maybe changed the design of the bad guy, instead of being this cloud type of thing. That seemed less creative of a design. Again, when the chopper goes crazy, that's some clunky CGI when it's sliding across the party. And it does follow, yeah, it does follow a formula. But I thought Ryan Reynolds was fine in his role as Hal Jordan. I didn't really have a big problem with it, and did not have a big problem with him. I thought it went at a good enough pace that I wasn't too bored, and again, I'm not going to sit here and say and put up there with my favorite superhero films like Constantine, Superman the movie, Blade and Blade 2. I think Ben Affleck's Daredevil is very underrated. The Punisher from 2004. The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren, 89. Very underrated. Watch it again, I could see it is a formulaic film, and you do wish for a bit more twists and turns and creativity. But again, you just say the same thing for a lot of the Marvel films. But they did a pass, and some of them I've enjoyed. But they did a pass, and this one's like the worst movie ever. I'm like, Ryan Reynolds, I'm sorry, R.I.P.D. is way worse than this. You should be talking a lot more shit about Blade Trinity. Blade Trinity, to me, is 10 times worse than this film. Blade Trinity pisses me off. Blade Trinity, you took two really good Blade films, and then you took a shit on them with Blade Trinity. Blade Trinity is way worse than this movie. Way fucking worse. Blade Trinity has a goddamn little dog that's a fucking vampire. And Triple H, fucking Nipple H, is a fucking vampire with his fucking vampire dog. Make fun of that more than fucking Green Lantern. Everyone always bring up Green Lantern. Bring up Blade Trinity. That's way more of a fucking train wreck. Was one of the most boring fucking uncharismatic Draculas in movie history. Fuck Blade Trinity. That's way worse Ryan Reynolds superhero movie than this. Now, yes, I like Deadpool 1 and 2 more than this, but I did not think this was as bad as people made it out to be. It's okay. I would say watch it again. I would say my enjoyment went down a little bit because after seeing so many Marvel films after this 10-year span since it came out, in a weird way, it falls in line with them. Like what a Marvel, like Captain Marvel. Why did Captain Marvel get praise compared to this? Captain fucking Marvel's formulaic. Captain Marvel, that's a shittier film, shittier lead. What makes Captain Marvel so much fucking better? That's why I would like to ask the critics. Well, a lot of the audience hates Captain Marvel, but like the critics. Why is Captain Marvel so much better than this? I'd love to ask. I just say this is much better because the lead is much better. It goes by a faster pace. And Captain Marvel is fucking formulaic as hell, but at least Green Lantern, it's showing a better usage of his faults and having to overcome his faults. And then come off as much of a bitch like Brie Larson does. That's just my opinion. This doesn't try to force fucking politics. That's another thing it doesn't do. It doesn't try to... No, it just wants to be a movie. It doesn't try to force fucking politics down your fucking throat. And I like the scene where he's being trained by Kilowog and how it's all about will, and he's using this off the cuff. So he's... During these training sessions, he's fighting Sinestro with a sword, and then there's a point where he turns his sword into a chainsaw or a minigun and creates a brick wall to try to block it. And I like the creative usage of that ring. It showcases you could come up with a lot of cool potential action scenes if this became a franchise. I would have been very curious now that you got the origin out of the way. Now that you got the explanation stuff out of the way. Because that's the tough thing, is to get the origin. Because if you know the character, you know the origin, and you're just waiting for the movie to catch up to you. Now that you got the origin, okay, what do you have next? Now that you have more freedom to do whatever you want. And I think Green Lantern 2 could have been better. We've got the setup. We've got everything taken care of that's out of the way. Now, you're free to do whatever you want. Because again, that's one of the issues with doing an origin story. A lot of times it becomes formulaic. Sometimes, though, they screw that up. Like, the first Ant-Man, I think, is better than Ant-Man 2. Ant-Man and the Wasp. I don't hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't hate, but I thought that was more forgettable than this movie. Because I've seen that film, I don't remember anything about it. This one, the train scene I liked. The finale I didn't mind. And yeah, I don't think Ryan Reynolds did a bad job. I like Ryan Reynolds. Maybe that's another thing. I like Ryan Reynolds. I like him in The Hitman's Bodyguard. I liked him in the Deadpool films. He was not the reason why Blade Trinity was bad. It was David Goyer being a fucking idiot. Writing, directing a shitty script. Wanting to do his wannabe fucking backdoor pilot for Jessica Biel and Ryan Reynolds to have their own fucking movie of, was it Night Watchers, whatever the hell group was going to be called. It's like, how about you do more of a Blade film than the stupid fucking backdoor reboot? No wonder Wesley Snipes got high on a supply and became a fucking diva. I'd be pissed too. That's just me. So yeah, I just never really understood why. Again, it's not fantastic. There's rooms of improvement, which I think a sequel could have done, but I just didn't think it was that fucking bad of a movie. Formulaic, but not that bad. It's at the very least a decent time waster, doesn't take too much of your time, and the characters came off, Ryan Reynolds and the lead came off as likable. At least some of it took place in space, so it made it unique compared to other superhero films at the time. I mean, nowadays you got Guardians of the Galaxy, fucking Captain Marvel, but it was a bit different in this time period for comic book superhero movies. And yeah, I've seen so much worse. And yeah, I would rather watch this than any Zack Snyder DC movie. Because it's not fucking 3 hours long with edgelord tendencies. I'm a fucking edgelord. Fuck you, Zack. Still pissed at you for fucking up Army of the Dead. Fucking edgelord tendencies. Anyway. If you don't like Green Lantern, fine. I don't think it's nearly as bad as people made it out to be. And Ryan Reynolds, will you stop apologizing for it? Apologize more for R.I.P.D. Because that's a film that wasted more of my fucking time than this film. R.I.P.D. sucked. It's way worse. Go apologize for R.I.P.D. Please. Thank you. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.